Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Comic Book Weekly. Man, we got a jam-packed show for you tonight. Let me just tell you. Of course, I'm Mike Spider Slayer from Comic Book Corner 2.0. Next to me, I have Cat Comic Uno.
Hello.
And then beneath me, I have Brant Fowler from Only Good Comics.
What's up, everybody?
Yeah, guys, it's going to be a packed show. Lots of news to discuss from New York Comic-Con this week. We got titles being released.
And this is my haul for this week, so I can't imagine what you guys have.
Yeah.
I didn't get as much, I think, as maybe the week prior, but still got a decent amount of comics.
Well, you didn't get as much of the X-Men stuff either, right?
No, I got a couple books. I got Amazing X-Men, and then I got Long Shots, and then I got the Laura Kinney one. So I got three.
Okay.
I got all.
I think I got like 5. How much did you? I'm guessing you got all of them, right?
Yeah, 5. But there were 5.
Okay.
So yeah, I got all 5. At least I think.
Then I didn't get Amazing. So.
Oh, you didn't? Maybe I missed one.
Amazing is like the main one.
Yeah, I know, but I don't read X-Men, so I'm just like, I don't want to read this.
I got Amazing, Laura Kinney, Long Shots, Binary, and World of Revelation. That's the 5.
I think that's everything.
Oh, then maybe I only got 4 then, because I got everything of those except Amazing. But we will talk about those books. But first, we are going to get into all the craziness that was New York Comic Con. I'll even talk about my New York Comic Con experience. We'll probably save that for after the news. So we'll talk about the news first. So let's go into the media stuff. Honestly, it was pretty dry for media. It was funny, like even being at the show. Obviously, I'm in Artist Alley for most of it. So I'm a comic creator. So I do the stuff in Artist Alley. But so I didn't really know what celebrities were going to be there. And back in my past, I did a lot of press. So that was like what I always was focused on. And I didn't hear much about what was kind of there. So the only 2 news pieces we had was Warner Brothers Animation is announcing Batman Nightfall. That's their new animated movie. So if you like that arc, they're making an animated movie for it.
That's a pretty big deal, though. That's a big one. I mean, that story's been out for an eternity, but it's classic. It's iconic. That's the one that breaks Batman's back.
Game breaking his back. Yeah.
Yeah, and so that's going to be an interesting animated movie, and I think there's going to be a lot of people that are going to want to see that one.
Yeah, I agree. I want to see it because it's such an iconic story that
And Jeremy Adams is writing it, so if you guys like his writing,
better,
That's awesome.
That's incredible.
Also, someone did mention Infamous. Mike Manhattan says, did they have a panel for the Beauty TV show? They did. I didn't go to see it, but I saw pictures of the audience, and it seemed like a lot of people went to it. Obviously, also because it's the Glee creator. What's his name?
Ryan
Murphy. Yeah, Ryan Murphy. Yeah, so obviously people are going to go for that as well. So I'm guessing Ryan Murphy was there. The other news is the teaser trailer for Wonder Man. I didn't actually get to see the trailer, so what did you guys think about it?
It was weird.
Yeah, it was weird. It kind of made me like want to see it, right? I was like, but I didn't know what I was really watching at the same time. It's like I needed something a little bit more.
So I think the way that they're framing it is that Wonder Man is a TV show like Greatest American Hero, where people fell in love with the TV show, but there's this person watching it that I'm kind of assuming that they're doing a little swerve, and that's not the TV character is not the actual Wonder Man. I don't know what they're doing. It was really weird.
Probably try to do a WandaVision thing, but maybe not succeeding with it.
Maybe. I don't know. I want to check it out just because it's so weird. I have to know what exactly is going on. But
yeah, exactly.
I should also mention, because I didn't mention it up top, but there was a lot of Comic Book Weekly fans that said hi, so I'm really appreciative of that. There was like cool. I think 5 people that watched this show who came up throughout the weekend says, I love the show, I love you guys. So thank you for watching. That's really cool. And if you ever see me, I don't bite. Go say hi. I love talking about the show. So it was really cool. It makes us feel like we, are talking to people. Oh, here we go.
We got fans in New York at least.
Exactly. Hey guys, Kat, I saw on Friday, but looked busy with people picking up books. I wish you said hi. But yeah, no, it was crazy. It was like really, really busy. But thank you for at least passing by. But yeah, I don't mind if you wait. Like, it's cool. I'll always say hi. So even if you give a wave and be like, you're from Comic Book Weekly, I watch you. I've had a few of those too. Like, I think in Philly I had that. So that's cool. So some people even watching the show saw me and didn't say hi. So there's even more people that were there. So I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get into comic news. There's so much of it, or at least bigger pieces. First up, because this is something that came out, I think, after Comic-Con, but Rob Liefeld is going to be doing a full manga mode, black and white, blood red editions of Young Blood, which, I mean, I think is interesting that they're trying to use that market. That was just, I mean, it's an interesting move. But it's also interesting with Young Blood in particular that he keeps trying to revive this franchise every years.
He's trying, man. He's trying. I mean, I don't know how excited I am for it, but he might try to tap into a new audience. So who knows?
It's funny. We went to a comic shop today because I forgot to pick up a book, and Lisa saw a Youngblood book on the shelf, and she's like, "They're still making those?" I'm like, yeah, they are.
Yep.
And they're doing that variant cover stuff too. They're like doing crossover variants with other Image books.
More power to them. You know, it is what it is. It's kind of funny that, like you said, Kat, that's the property that he keeps going back to.
And wanting to make it a manga, it's very interesting. Mike Manhattan also mentioned that, did you hear Rob Liefeld's going to retire after Youngbloods? I will also say that he says that every single moment he'll be like, I'm done with this, and then he completely goes.
I just think he loves it too much. I think,
Yeah. It's like wrestlers that stay around till they're 70.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I mean, also like if you're in this industry, like you love this hobby. Like what else do you want to do? Like, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Can't fault them for that.
No, like it's definitely understandable. Mike Manhattan also says, are you guys getting the Youngblood variant cover for Feral? I don't think I'm getting it. I never read Youngblood ever, so I don't have much interest in getting the variant covers.
I really liked the original Youngblood back in the day when it came out, but
it's so dated though.
It is so dated, and I don't typically go after a lot of variants myself, so probably not.
All right, that is our Rob Liefeld conversation. Now we're going to get into something that we've already known, but they're kind of like affirming more, and we are going to kind of go into a Marvel versus DC conversation for New York Comic Con. But the Ultimate Universe is actually ending, right? But they also say, but there is also a little bit more coming. So if you read the article, they're like, but this chapter's over. Who knows?
Yeah.
So they insinuate there's more, but this is the end of the Hickman run of the Ultimate Universe. But this is really one, and we'll talk about the Iron Man piece, but this is one of the few things that came out of Marvel. That Marvel kind of went out with a whimper at New York Comic Con while DC was announcing everything and getting people excited. And once again, I will say, because it's so interesting. Me, Brett, and Mike are bigger Marvel fans. So when we are raving about DC, that means DC is doing something really right.
Yeah.
So
for years we were for years we're all about Marvel. Marvel was this, and when DC had its downtime, when they were moving and doing all this other stuff, it just wasn't hitting it. And now it's completely on the other hand. I mean, it's just DC's doing their thing, and I feel like there's just no response from Marvel.
Yeah, it's like everybody criticized the New 52, but coming out of the New 52, it's almost like it was necessary because it gave them that reset to try to do something new after the fact, and they have been killing it ever since. So
and it's interesting. I was talking to a friend who was like, "Oh yeah, DC had the New 52," and that's when people were talking about DC a lot. But I was like, but it doesn't feel like this because the New 52, there are people that dislike the New 52. Yeah. There was a lot of people, but I'm feeling no one disliking DC Comics right now. I don't hear anyone really complaining about it. So this feels and I've been reading comics all my life. So 20 plus years, 25 plus years, I'm 30, 31 now. But I've been reading comics all my life. And it's just I've never seen people this excited for one side of the big two.
Yeah, I mean, I started really reading DC Comics when the New 52 came out. Because I read comics when I was a kid, then I took a break for a while, and then it wasn't until 2007, 2008 when I got back into books, and then they released New 52, and I remember I was like, wow, this is a perfect jumping on point for me, right? And then and it's good, right? It was good, but then it fell off a little bit, and then people got upset, and then it took them some time to get back. But this just feels completely different. This like seems like it has the classic characters with an event that was building, and it's just like not only do you have this cool event, but you also have in a universe that's different. You know what I'm saying? And it's also another jumping on point for readers that may have not read DC. This is just something that is completely different, and it's supposed to be different. Like I hear some people complaining, going, "Well, Batman wouldn't do this. This is not supposed to be the main Batman. This is a completely different Batman, Superman, Flash, everything else." But I love it.
And I feel like that they're not doing things to upset fans. Like, obviously before in the New 52, Lois and Clark are not together, or, Iris and Flash are not together. And everyone's like, why are you doing this? And then they're like, yeah, why are we doing this? Let's actually bring them together. Let's do this. And then have these alternate universes. But then also at the same time, like, and we'll talk about this as we go down the list, but even having characters that are not as popular have titles, or characters that are, a lot of diverse characters are now getting titles. Like you have the Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy, how their love story started. Batwoman has a title. Firestorm has a title. Like it's really cool to see like they're just trying to make every fan happy. And I'm like, oh, this is what comics should be. Is like even again, is Firestorm going to sell? Probably not. It's not going to make absolute Batman numbers. Well, and I'm excited for it too. And I'm excited for Firestorm too, but it's not going to be making absolute Batman numbers. But
no,
they're giving these titles a chance because they know people like these people.
There's a lot of characters that just haven't had their own titles for a while. So this is a smart move on their part.
And a lot of creators that are attached to it that are exciting. Even we'll call newcomers, right? Like Tony Fleeks hasn't been writing for Big Two for a while, but he made his name with Feral, and now like he's writing The Thing. Now he's writing one of these titles. So it's like you have these newcomers that have kind of proven themselves with their own audience and now doing that. Yeah, I just think it's great. And again, we'll go into those a little bit more. But Ultimate Universe, this all steers us into the end of this. And yeah, this kind of pisses me off, right? Because it's the one of the few titles I'm enjoying from Marvel is the Ultimate Universe Spider-Man. So to see that being ending and then also not really promising what's coming up next kind of feels like the Exceptional X-Men for me, where like I know not everyone's been loving this X-Men run, but like some people had favorites, and then you stop these stories to tell this offbeat X-Men adventure. And we're like, well, why can't we just enjoy the X-Men titles we're enjoying? And then if some are not working, relaunch them and do something different. So it just feels they just keep pulling the rug under things that you're enjoying.
I mean, when it comes to like Spider-Man and the Ultimate Universe, they obviously said from the beginning it was a finite ending. Like it's definitely going to happen because they kept on doing this countdown. And you feel like even the story that they present to yourself, to us as the readers, is that it's almost already too long because they've dragged out stuff for a while now, whether it's in the Ultimates, even Ultimate Spider-Man, because there hasn't been that great of an issue in a couple issues now. And there's been no Spider-Man in the book. And it's just like, where are we going just to get to this little event, and then it's going to all wrap up and then that's it. But it is a poor decision on their end to end, at least I would say, Ultimate Spider-Man, because it is their best-selling book. But who knows? Who's to say it doesn't come back? But we all know, and we discussed it before, it's going to be with a different creative team.
Right.
Or maybe they're sitting there going, well, we don't want Ultimate Spider-Man to outsell the Amazing Spider-Man. Yeah. So maybe that's why we're going to end it.
Maybe, but it seems like you're leaving money on the table when you take your best-selling book and just be like, no, we're ending it all.
Or just make freaking Amazing Spider-Man good again, and then we don't have to have this conversation.
Right. But yeah, they can do things in Ultimate Spider-Man that they won't do in the main Spider-Man books, and that's kind of what makes it better, because you have that supporting cast and that family aspect and all of that. So
but it also goes back to, and I'll tie this into like the next news piece being, so the most exciting thing you could do is a crossover between Venom and Spider-Man,
Right.
and and again, this is a story you already know is going to happen, right? Like, you know, MJ and Spider-Man are gonna have to interact at some point. That doesn't mean I'm not excited for it. Like, I want to see what that looks like. That's like your big announcement, is the thing that's inevitable, right?
Yeah. Right. No, I agree. Yeah, it's like, I don't know. That's not what I would expect as like this huge announcement coming out of it, because we get so many of those type of things. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. Yep.
yeah. And it's
Um,
all centered around that symbol, right? Like it's the Carnage thing. It's whatever that was, um oh, I can't even think of it. But like that symbol where Carnage found that god and was like, yeah, all that
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
This is all spinning out of like the King in Black and the Queen
Yeah.
in Black and all that other
Yeah.
stuff. So
and she's getting her own one shot or something like that. I don't remember. I
The
feel
Queen
like
of
Queen
Black
in
thing.
Black. Yeah,
Yeah.
she's getting something else if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
how
mean,
do you
it's
guys
fine.
feel about her being the Queen in Black? Like,
It's like everything else Marvel has been saying. Oh, go on, Brant.
No,
What are
no,
you gonna
no.
say?
Go ahead. I'll follow you.
No, I was just gonna say it's just like everything else. It just feels like something thrown to a dartboard, right? It's just like, okay, cool, I guess. Where did this come from? But go on, Brant.
Yeah, no, it's the same thing. It's like every once in a while we'll see that character pop up, but it doesn't seem like a character that a lot of people care about. I'm sure there's a cult following of this character or whatever out there, but it's just, I don't know. It's just a character that's like, really? That's where we're going? Like when she popped up in Jane's Thor, and of course she always in Thor books and everything. It's like, okay, well that makes sense, because it's Thor, but when she pops up in like regular stuff, it's like, really? That's it? Okay. It
but
just
what's
feels
wrong with
weird.
just bringing regular Noel back? Like, why
Yeah.
do right?
We,
It's just
we
like,
know he's alive.
yeah, just bring him back. Why do you have to change it or have
Yeah.
to? I don't know. It's just weird to me. So
I
it's
think
just
it's
like,
because Marvel doesn't want to give fans what they want, and there must
oh,
be some sort of mandate in that. But I don't
so
understand this.
It's
frustrating.
the
And I
Dan
don't
Slott
understand.
philosophy.
Well, it is, and I don't understand the like, I don't understand the selling of it. Like, I get
Yeah.
teasing, but like, at this point, it's almost everything. Anything that people want, you just won't give it to anybody.
Yeah.
And again,
Yeah.
I'll go back to like, and we'll go back to what DC is doing with these characters that don't get series as much. But look at Runaways, for example. This is a cult fan favorite series. You have Rainbow Rowell, that is a known writer. Why don't you just do that series as a graphic novel where you know you're going to make money in the book market? Do it as a webtoon. But right now you have the Zeb Wells, John Romita Jr. on webtoon.
Yeah.
That's not what the audience is going to gravitate to. They're going to gravitate towards the Runaways. So, like, why are we not getting titles that fans will be fans of? And again, I'm trying to step away from Spider-Man and all that, because we've gone through that well. But it's just like, you have such unique characters. Why are we not seeing stories that make fans happy? And I really can't think of any series right now that's making fans happy.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything.
I mean, like you both said, Ultimate Spider-Man up until, it's the last couple of issues.
Everything is like basically like a mini series. So if you like a mini series, that's one thing. But when you look at ongoing series, there's not many of them. Most of them are minis anyway. So like, for instance, we like the Thing series, right? But it's not ongoing. So there's so very few series, I think, from Marvel right now that are in like the double digits. Like, I think it might be Miles Morales might be the biggest one. Like, I honestly, this is that might be it.
That and Avengers, I think they're neck and neck. But yeah.
So you're talking Miles Morales might be what, going on issue 40, and you got
and Avengers is
and you got
31,
Avengers what
32,
in the 30s or something.
I'm sure they'll renumber it at some point. And I think something that's interesting too is like a Spider-Gwen, right? Like, me and Brant have been enjoying that series. And it's like, you kind of have to twist it so much where it's like, I'm enjoying this series, even though it should be this, this, and this. We want our 65. We want all these things. And it's like, but somehow we're like, oh, great that Stephanie Phillips is able to like make a really good story out of the things that she has to do. But it's like, well, why can't we just have a great story where she could do anything she wants?
Yeah, very true. Yeah. And that's a perfect example of like miniseries after miniseries after miniseries, and that should have just been an ongoing series.
And we're on the third one right now.
Yeah. Yeah, of her run, yeah, and
Yeah.
then, not counting all the previous stuff as well, so,
We
yeah, it's
got
just
Mike Manhattan said, "I heard Jed McKay's Moon Knight is pleasing fans. It is a good series, but you know what? Guess what? It's starting over again as well.
and it just started over not that long ago.
Yeah, exactly. And it's still written by Jed McKay. So
Yeah.
they're literally at the point where it's like we write a story arc and then we start over. That's
Yeah.
just kind of like what they're at right now.
Yeah, and I get it for trades, it makes sense, but you're talking, like, longer arcs, like, I don't remember what issue this one's up to, but it's definitely longer than one single trade, it's, like, probably 3, but, yeah, it's
Maybe. I don't know. I don't think
or
it's that
2,
many.
it might be 2, it
This
might
is
be,
the
like, 10
Fist of
issues.
Khonshu. I got to remember what it
Yeah,
is. Yeah.
it might only be, like, 10 issues, yeah, you're probably right.
Now
Um,
I go on, Brent.
yeah, no, go ahead, yeah.
I was gonna change the subject too. I do want to. Obviously, we were shitting on Marvel a lot, but I do want to talk about the one really good news that came out of Marvel, which is Joshua Williamson taking over
Yeah.
Iron Man, and Carmen, who worked on Exceptional X-Men for the art, is doing the art. Yeah, I'm stoked for this. I've really looked back. I don't think I've ever hated a Joshua Williamson book or disliked a Joshua Williamson book. I
Yeah,
can't think of anything.
I can't either. I mean, I've loved his writing for quite some time, so everything that comes out with his name on it, I'm like picking it up. He's one of those writers for me. So yeah, hearing hint that he's going to be doing Iron Man is just exciting because I'm loving Superman, I'm loving GI Joe, and now we got Iron Man on top of it. So it's like, okay, cool, trifecta.
And
I'm
you
Yeah.
there.
even loved his indie stuff. You love
Yeah,
Birthright. We love Dark
Birthright,
Ride.
love Birthright. Yeah.
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 I mean,
Well,
it
Dark
was a
Ride would
shock.
be the one, but it just
Mhm.
wasn't my genre. That was the only problem with it.
It was a shocker to hear that he did get this book. Kat
Yeah.
and I were chatting about it before we went live, and it's just like, man, all the stuff that he's doing, whether it's on the Energon stuff, and then with the DC stuff, and then he gets this gig to do Iron Man. I read the article. He said he's always wanted to write an Iron Man comic book, so that's pretty cool. And I feel Marvel needs
Mm.
something big right now, and this I would say would be the biggest thing that they have possibly going for them. But in my eyes, thinking about Marvel, how long is this going to last for?
Yeah.
Right.
But I mean, I'll be happy if it's an inroad for him to do other stuff there. I'd be fine with that. Even if it's a short run, it's like, okay, what's he writing next for Marvel?
Right.
That'll
Yeah.
excite me. Yeah.
But like, I would have been like, yeah, ongoing series, Iron Man, 50 issues minimum. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you're not going to get that.
I'll say 25. I'll even
I won't
say
even
25.
say that. I say 12. I say
I think
a
it'll be
year.
12. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't see it going further than either, but I would be happy with 25. That'd be something that'd make me happy for the run. Because again, look at Joshua Williamson on Superman. It's been over 3 years that he's been on that series. And that's one series I'll say there's been very few issues I've disliked. Every issue is so good. The pacing is really great for that book. And again, if I'm going into DC, I love Batman. That's my hero. I've never really liked Superman that much, but he's making me love Superman.
Yeah. Same.
I
So
agree.
I really like it. I'm excited to see what he does with Iron Man. Let's do more Marvel and then we'll do the DC stuff. So we have the Shadow of Tomorrow X-Men lineup. We've kind of already knew it, but now they've officially, I think, talked about like creative teams. So first up is the Rogue series. This is written by Erica Schultz. Luigi Zagaria is doing the art. I'm not a big Rogue fan, so I think I'll be skipping this. It's a limited series. I don't know if you guys are gonna pick that one up.
I don't know. She just had a limited series, right? She had the Rogue Savage Land.
Yeah, this also seems to be tying into the Uncanny X-Men stuff. It mentions Haven House and all that stuff there. So I don't know how strongly they're going to lean into that, but I know you don't like Uncanny, Mike. So I don't know if that'll be something.
Yeah, but I might go back on it because I think I'm sorry.
Unbreakable.
I think X-Men I'm going to go back on because Tony S. Daniel's going to do the artwork on it.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I did not see that. Yeah, that's cool.
Are you going to get it, Brant?
I'm on the fence about it. I don't know. It'll probably depend on the week, but yeah.
There's a lot of books, man. There's a lot of those X books, so you're going to have to be picky choosy.
it does, like, it mentions Mystique and Destiny, and when they're involved, that makes it a little more interesting for me. So I might try out the first issue, but it's a miniseries, so it's like,
Speaking of
Yeah.
miniseries, we have a new one. We got Magic and Colossus, which is I think the same creative team that did the Magic series. The only reason I'm interested is Colossus. We don't see them interact very often, so I feel like I'll probably get the first issue of
Could
that
be
one.
cool. They could be cool. Yeah.
I'll grab that. Brand, any thoughts on that one?
I didn't really like the Magic series, so that's my only like reservation there. But
so next up we have Cyclops issue 1. Alex Packnendel and Roge Antonio is doing this. This is part of the Glorious X-Force team title. Looks like it's spinning out of another character that I don't really think I need a limited series for.
I read this about the Cyclops series is that it's taking more of like a Logan approach. Like he's going to be on his own, dealing with, he's having like anger issues. Like, I don't know, like he's away in, I guess, in hiding from the X team or whatever it is, because something happens to him. So I don't know. It could be something different for the character. But then again, I think about it, if he's like Wolverine, why would I just read a Wolverine comic?
And again, it depends on the week. Like this week I had, again, so many freaking comics. It was, let me see if I had, but it was such a large pile this week. Tomorrow is not as big for me, but it's still large, you know? It's a lot to read. I had 17 this week.
I had 19 is what I actually read. I had a few more, but I didn't get to them. The writer that writes the Cyclops book, he wrote Red Goblin a couple of years ago, and he wrote
that was good.
That Sentinels miniseries last year.
Yeah,
it was all right.
Yeah, it was all right.
The Sentinels one, I didn't read,
were all
Red
right.
Goblin's
They
good.
were okay.
Yeah, he's written a lot of other stuff, but it's like random stuff for DC.
Yeah.
So next up is Inglorious X-Force, which you have Cable, Boom Boom, Helverine, Archangel. I mean, I like Cable, but again, this is Tim Seeley writing. I do like Tim Seeley. Michael Staub Maria is doing the art. This doesn't excite me. Maybe I'll pick it up, but
I might try it just because it's Tim Seeley. I might try it and see. Because
it's Tim Seeley, it's Archangel, and I haven't seen Boom Boom in forever, so I'll probably pick it up just to see what she's up to.
After that is Wade Wilson Deadpool. This is Ben Percy. Jeff Shaw is doing the art. This one I will pick up at least the first issues. I want to see what Ben Percy does with Deadpool.
Yeah, same.
So he did the Wolverine and Deadpool series that just ended. But the thing what's good about this one is Wade Wilson now, for some reason, he doesn't speak nearly as much in this series.
I could use Deadpool being
takes away his personality. So I'm curious to see why he is like this.
Okay.
Which is interesting because I think Deadpool fans are gonna hate that. So it's just like, again, who are you targeting?
Right. All the rest of us, yeah.
Yeah, and again, I'm excited for that, but I don't think I need to be the target for your next Deadpool book.
Right.
But interesting.
Speaking of the next one, yeah, go ahead.
Yes, Generation X, the one I am very excited for. We got Jody Hauser. We love Jody Hauser. Jack Kobo, Kamakani. It's Laura. It's X-23. Yeah.
And Gabby. Yeah.
And Gabby. Yeah. I'm super excited for it.
Them together it's like, okay, I'm in. I don't care even who the creative team is, but it's Jody Hauser, which I really like Jody Hauser's writing too. So.
Yeah, hopefully it's a solid book. We haven't seen them together in quite some time. I mean, I know they were in this most recent,
but it's very different version.
It's different, yeah.
Also, doesn't say it's a mini series, so I guess for now it's an ongoing series.
We'll see.
For now. Next up is Storm, Earth's Mightiest Mutant. This is obviously, I'm guessing, just spinning off of what we've been seeing from Storm.
Yeah, it's probably like a continuation off of her series now.
Yeah.
All right, next is X-Men. Same thing, just literally, except Tony S. Daniel, like you said, is the artist for this.
Yeah, that's going to be good. The art will be phenomenal. I'll probably just pick it up for that artwork alone.
I never dropped it, so I'll continue on with it. But yeah,
I might get the first issue for the art, but I really didn't love the story for that one. All right, moving on to. Is there another X-Men thing, or they're just soliciting?
It's just 2 issues.
Yeah, they're just silly. Okay, and then Uncanny X-Men's continuing. So if you like Uncanny X-Men, continue it. If you don't. Wolverine, same thing. It looks like.
Oh, hey, wait! You didn't read Amazing X-Men.
I did not.
Oh, can I spoil it, Brent?
Yeah, go ahead. Oh wait, let's
Brent. Dave Marquez is doing the art on Uncanny X-Men.
Yeah, but he's been doing the art.
Has he been doing it? Okay, I couldn't remember.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead, Mike.
Amazing X-Men. Remember what happened in it? The person that got killed?
Yes.
Yeah.
Who is it?
Dreamwave?
Death Dream.
Death Dream.
The Uncanny X-Men.
She's the one with the black hair, right?
One of the outliers.
Yeah.
Got his head sliced right off from Wolverine.
He's the one that talks to the dead people. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Like the one who's like looks like a kid. Like he's one that looks a little bit kiddier.
Right.
Okay.
I was like one outlier.
That's interesting.
Down 2 to go, baby.
It was immediate too. Like they came to him and he's like protecting this place. He's got all his ghosts kind of protecting the place, and then boom, right off.
But how is that going to affect anything? That's like my biggest problem with this whole event. Is like cool, but like that's not probably going to happen anywhere else, and there's no ramifications to it.
Right.
I don't know. We'll find out.
This, we would assume. Yeah.
Let me see if there's any other Marvel news, but I don't think there is. Yeah, I think Oh no, Queen in Black, but we already talked about it.
Yeah, we talked about that. Yeah.
There was also the Wolverine series. I don't know if we talked about that.
I think it's the same creative team, but if there's anything else, it's it. Yeah.
It is. Yeah. Which I'm not.
Yeah,
I didn't like the current runs, so I'm not gonna pick that up.
Yeah, same.
I just want Kitty Pryde somewhere, and she's nowhere to be found. So X-Men just became much more boring to me. And Emma, I've been loving her series too.
She's coming up in one of the World of Age of Revelation
she has
books.
The Iron Emma. Oh, Kitty. Yeah, she has. I forget which one she's in, but she's gonna be in one of them.
Yeah, I don't remember which one either.
And then Emma obviously is in the one that comes out tomorrow. All right, let's get into some DC. So let's start with the Vertigo titles because it's also kind of like going down the list to see what is out there. The one funny thing is, if you haven't been reading comics for a long time, I think like a lot of people are probably like, oh my God, Vertigo's coming back. But if you've been reading comics as long as we have, Vertigo comes back like every 3 years. And you're just like, okay, Vertigo's back again. Let's see how long it lasts. But let's see the titles here. So first up is Bleeding Hearts, which is Denise Camp and Dennis Camp and a couple other artists here. I know there's a breakdown somewhere. I don't think they have some descriptions in another site, right? Did you guys see descriptions for these?
No, I didn't look too much into these ones. No.
I'll say that, and I don't have to read all of them, but the ones that interest me is Mariko Tamaki. I want to see what she does because we haven't really seen an indie book like this from her because obviously she usually does those like graphic novels. And then Tom Taylor, because this is a darker universe, and you're like, oh, what's Tom Taylor going to do with that? And then probably, yeah.
Oh, I was just going to say I have a breakdown when you want.
Yeah, why don't we break down Mariko and Tom Taylor's first? Let's do those two.
Okay, let me find it. Tom Taylor's Necretaceous. Tom Taylor, Derek Robertson. Scientists attempt to time travel to stop a zombie virus only to land 66 million years in the past among dinosaurs.
I just want to see what he does with that because, again, it's a lot darker than he usually does. And how about Mariko's?
Right. That's The Crying Doll, Mariko and Rosemary Valero O'Connell. It's a Jekyll and Hyde thriller about just how far a young woman would go to protect her best friend who may or may not be a killer. That's
very Mariko, and that's the one I'm most excited for. Yeah. And then probably Kyle Starks and Steve Pugh, because that's the same creative team that did that Peacemaker book that I really liked. And I think we all really liked that Peacemaker book. Is Peacemaker Does Hard Things, whatever it's called?
Yeah, this one's end of life. A top-tier hitman returns to his Midwestern hometown to care for his dying father and confront his own mortality.
I'll say out of all the other ones, I think people are really excited for the Rom V book, obviously. I wish I'd been able to get into Rom V more than I have. He's just not someone that hits a nerve for me. But anything else that like kind of screams out at you guys? Are you going to get any of these titles?
I might try them as time as it gets closer.
Yeah,
I might try.
This one called Fanatic, it says a woman's obsession with a comic book spirals into a deadly
Oh,
parasocial fixation on its creator. That one sounds interesting to me. I might try check that one out.
I
that's
mean,
cool. But we have Mary Sue, which I don't know if you guys read this
I
week,
did
and then
read
we
that.
also have the author Immortal that came
Yeah.
out last week, which was very similar
Yeah,
premise.
true.
the only thing I can say, just as a whole, when it comes to Vertigo, is that it's cool. They're trying it again. Let's hope
Yeah.
that it's successful, and it just gives people other stories to try out, right? Besides the superhero stuff. So
Sure.
Yeah.
some of them sound awesome, and then depending again on the comic book week, if it still sounds awesome, then I might try one or two of them out
Yeah.
and see.
The Bleeding Heart one you might like, Mike. It's something about a zombie that discovers his heart's still beating, and he has to
Oh,
deal with his place in society now.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Reminds me of do you remember that iZombie comic?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
iZombie. Yeah,
remember that back?
yeah.
That was
They
a
did a
long
show
time
on it.
ago.
Yeah,
I
Yeah,
love both. I really like the comic and I like the show.
I like
Yeah.
the
But
show. I never read the
yeah.
comic. But
The comic was fun, but it was very different from the
very,
show.
very different. Yeah, very, very different.
She worked at a graveyard and she dug up hearts and she I think solved
Okay.
the crimes
You
by
know who
doing
did
that.
the art on it? They got the same artist that did
All right.
Dan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like all red. Yeah,
Oh
that's
No.
why I
God,
didn't read it.
I thought it worked for that book, but
it did. It
yeah.
did. It did. Yeah.
Yeah,
All right, we're gonna move on to let's do Babs Tarr returning for that Gotham Sirens book. Dude, it's been 10 years since she's done a comic.
yeah,
And the writers are Teenie Howard, great writer. And then interestingly enough, you got Black Canary involved in this one. So I'm stoked for this. I'm excited to see this.
I remember it was back in the early days of when we started doing a version of this show that we were talking about her on that book. It's crazy. I remember because it was before I moved here.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, that's crazy. It was 11 years ago, but yeah, no, it's cool. It's cool she's back, and especially on a Sirens book. And anytime there's a Sirens book, I'm at least interested in it. I didn't love the last couple that they put out, but
Because they were those weekly books. I wasn't
yeah.
a fan of those either. All right. Let's talk about Harley and Ivy miniseries because I was talking about it a little bit before. I think it's cool that they're doing the origins of how Harley broke up with the Joker and how Poison Ivy and Harley got together. I just think it's a really cool concept.
Yeah, I think it would be an interesting little story. It's something different just to see how their relationship developed. I think that's awesome.
Yeah, same. Not really much else to say.
Right.
Next, the big one is Absolute Catwoman's getting a miniseries, and we're going to also kind of learn how she got to the point to where we're seeing her in the series now. I think it's interesting, but I'll also say we'll talk about the issue, but I don't know if this Catwoman is that different than any other Catwoman we've seen, so I don't know if we need to know how she got there, because it's don't we already know how Catwoman becomes Catwoman unless they do something drastically different. But
obviously there's something different there,
yeah.
I would think. You know what I'm saying?
I would hope.
We'll see. There's some questions that weren't answered in this issue with her, so. And obviously, they're leaving that for the miniseries. So we'll see what happens.
She reminded me a lot of the Batman version of Catwoman, the one that we saw in the recent movie. That was kind of the vibe I got from her.
I could see that. Yeah.
And this one, I believe Scott Snyder is writing. So we'll have that as well, I think. Okay. All right. Let's get into these other titles that I was kind of teasing. So we're going to go one by one. And I think only one of them has the creators announced. Everything else is just guess who's going to be writing. I'll mention the creators that are involved, and then we'll talk about each series. We have Greg Rucka, which we do know what he's writing, Jorge Corona, Dennis Camp, Mariko Tamaki, James Hiron, Scotty Young, Jeff Lemire, Danny, who's working with I think Greg Rucka on the Batwoman series, Tony Fleeks, Jamal Campbell, Joshua Williamson, and more. So we're going to go with series by series. Batwoman, that's the one we know that Greg Rucka is returning. I'm so excited for that. I think that's going to be really, really cool. And again, a character we haven't seen in a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that'll be interesting. You guys liked the Greg Rucka run, right? You enjoyed the first Batwoman run, or did you guys not read it?
I think I read a little bit of it. I think it. God, I couldn't tell you. It's been so long since
It was
that.
before the New
one.
52, so you might have just missed it.
I think it's been such a long time, and then I think I tried the New 52 Batwoman. And I remember I read a little bit of that, and then I kind of fell off of that.
Yeah, I didn't like the New 52 one. I don't remember if I read the one before that. I mean, I was aware of it, obviously, but I don't remember, honestly.
The art was crazy for that book, so that was like, it was a good story.
She's just a character that for some reason I have a hard time getting into her character. I don't know why. But
she's very stiff at times.
Yeah, that's probably it. Yeah.
Next up is Deathstroke, the Terminator. So we're just seeing more Deathstroke. I'm trying to think of who would be the person to write this, but if I had to guess, honestly, I could see Dennis Camp writing Deathstroke with what we've been seeing. But yeah. I'm game for a Deathstroke series too.
It's been a long time for him too. Is this one New 52?
I think there was one after that. I think the Tony S. Daniel one was after that.
I thought he still did that one. I thought was that a separate series, or was it the same one with him just doing the artwork on it?
I don't remember.
Really don't remember. I'm trying to remember.
Maybe in the comments, people could. Okay, here we go. Yeah, there was in DC Universe issue 50. It wasn't even him. It was Christopher Priest, and I read that one. It was actually pretty solid. So Christopher Priest was the last Deathstroke.
That's right. Yeah, because he has this thing where he does black panels with the title in every single book that he writes.
And I remember the New 52 one wasn't great either. I was like, this is a pretty bad comic book.
The New 52 one I didn't like. I liked the Christopher Priest one, but it went on for a long time.
That's what I was thinking that was the New 52 one, but no, I did read some of that one, the Christopher Priest one, but it went on forever.
So next up is Firestorm, which we're all excited for. There's a lot of people on this list I would like to see them write.
I was about to say, in a perfect world for me, Tony Fleeks would be writing that one, but we'll see.
And we don't know which Firestorm is going to be. That's interesting too. There's been so many different iterations of the character.
Jeff Lemire on Firestorm could be interesting too.
We got this comment here. It says, "Did you talk about the teaser for season 2 of X-Men 97?" I didn't even know there was one.
I didn't even finish the first season, so.
Well, you're missing out because
I know.
Was a damn good show,
no, I know. I watched like three episodes or something like that. Yeah.
Gotta catch up. I didn't watch the 90s show as much, but I watched a few episodes of the new one too. I also should be catching up with that. All right, let's get into Shadow of the Bat, which I hope is not just a Batman spinoff. That would be like, I'm like, all right, well, we already know Batman.
It probably is.
Yeah, I could see Batwing maybe.
Yeah,
I mean, we got Shadow of the Bat in the past already before.
Yeah.
So curious to see what this one is going to be.
And again, who stars in it? Zatanna. I can almost be certain it's going to be Mariko because Zatanna did amazing Zatanna run.
Right.
Mariko did the amazing Zatanna run for Black Label, and if she's writing that, I am like sold.
Oh yeah,
double. Sure. Like we all love that series. So
absolutely, yeah. And so it was like what we were talking about. You know, some of these titles are titles that we were talking about that deserve ongoing. So I'm glad that they're giving them a chance to see, what happens.
Yeah.
Next up is Lobo. I feel like this is going to be Scotty Young.
I could see that. I could totally see that. Yeah.
I'll say I don't care about Lobo, but great for obviously again it goes back to he has such hardcore fans. Why are we not catering to these hardcore fans?
Right.
Just not every book needs to make 100,000. Sometimes, again, especially in comics, there's such a life after floppies. Floppies do not make as much money in comics. So if you could find an audience that buys these books in Barnes and Noble or wherever, that's good. You don't have to. It doesn't have to just be those direct sales from those issue ones. Like think about the sales after. Think about your trades. That's gonna make your money too. Next is the Demon, which is Etergon. I've never been interested in this character.
Yeah.
I could see Scotty. I'm sorry, Jeff Lemire writing something like this.
Yeah.
Maybe I'd pick it up with him.
Right up his alley for sure.
I could see James Herron writing that too. But yeah, I've never been a fan of the character either.
Lobo's gonna be Scotty Young with Jorge Corona. Interesting.
Okay.
And then
That
someone
makes
says,
sense.
yeah, Shadow the Bat. I thought that was gonna be info. I don't think so. Yeah, no, that makes sense too about Lobo. And then Jorge Corona is the one who did the Transformers art.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All right, and then we have the one I am very excited for, and that's Barbara Gordon Breakout. Again, anyone on this list, I'd be pretty excited to see Barbara Gordon and what's she breaking out of. And Barbara herself has not had a series in a while, so.
Right.
But that also probably means like the Cassandra Cain book is probably going to end soon. I can't imagine them having 2 Batgirl series. I don't think that's ever happened where there's been 2 at the same time.
If there was, it's been a long time.
No, so I have a feeling they'll end Cassandra. If they don't, that's amazing. Like I'd love to see 2 different Batgirls doing stuff, but I do feel like they'll probably end it. That's the list of all those titles. Like go DC. Love that they're doing these books.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, now we're leading into DC K.O. So let's talk about, before I talk about DC, yeah.
I just found a Bleeding Cool article that mentions that
the writer, like that the writer was Scotty Young.
Yeah, but there was another one. It added Legion of Superheroes.
Okay.
By Joshua Williamson.
Oh, I mean, yeah, that makes sense with everything.
Yeah. I don't love Legion of Superheroes, but if Joshua Williamson's writing it, I'm going to try.
Right, yeah.
I mean, I would read it just because I've been reading it. So
again, how he has time.
I don't know. I hope they're paying him really well because he's doing a lot of books.
Yeah.
Actually, before I get into DC K.O, we should talk about Something's Killing the Children, the Swamp Thing crossover. Yeah. I don't read either, but I think that's really cool that DC's opening up their gates. And again, we'll talk about the further down the line about opening up their gates, but that's how you make fans. You like people are really big fans of Something's Killing Children that might not read DC because they're highbrow indie people. So if they read this book, you're like, wait, I actually really like DC. I should go back to read this.
I was pumped. Yeah. I was pumped for this. I was like, oh man, that's freaking cool. Can't wait to see that opening issue and how they confront each other for the first time, because you look at Erica Slaughter and, at one point to her, the Swamp Thing's got to be a monster,
Yeah.
So that's going to be, I think that's going to be a kind of cool book.
Speaking of Something's Killing the Children, just a little side note, Lisa went to a place called Ollie's today and she bought me like a pack. It just opened here. She bought me a pack of comics like you used to get back in the day, and it just had a bunch of Boom titles. There's a Something's Killing the Children one in it, and there's a Grimm. I don't know what else is in it because I haven't opened it yet, but I thought that was fun.
So fun fact, like Ollie's is a place where everything is discounted,
right?
And they have kind of thing. And they have a huge like trade section, right? So you can get omnibuses there for like $25.
Wow.
Oh wow.
I kid you not. And you can get trades for like $10. You can get those blind packs, there as well. They always constantly have them in stock. So I had one close to, it's not super close to me, but I picked up stuff. People on my Facebook group is always posting stuff. They got trade after trade after trade. Wow. I mean, it's and they're brand new. It's just they discount them.
It's like the Costco for books.
Yeah. It's a ton of stuff, man.
This one's like 2 miles from where I live.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah, you'll make really weekly trips, I'm telling you, because they always have stuff there.
Yeah, that's really cool. I'll have to check it out.
We also have. I saw something about killing children. You never read Something is Killing Children. So interesting story. I read the first issue because I had to interview James Tynion for the first issue for Newsarama. And I was like, oh, that was fine. And then I never wanted to read anymore. And then obviously it became this big book. And it's so funny because I read it digitally and I did not get the first issue. So I was stupid about that because I read it before anyone else. I was reading it to do an interview. So very funny. And I never
I've read every issue so far. I can say that right now it's not as strong. I just feel like the storytelling is just really slowed down. probably so far the worst arc in the book right now, but I'm still sticking with it. But that opening 6, 12, however many issues, like really freaking good.
Yeah,
Really, really good story.
I still haven't read past that first trade, but that first trade was amazing.
It's so good, man.
Yeah.
After that, I mean, it's so awesome.
Yeah.
It's just getting going there.
It seems like very much a trade book at this point too, because I was even talking to my comic stores. Like when you get to those higher numbers with the indie books, like the story's gonna order 1 or 2 because most people are gonna be getting the
you're gonna need to buy the trade
belt.
at that point for sure. And plus, the Something Is Killing the Children books are just like, especially those first 6 issues, are incredibly expensive.
Yeah.
It's hard to get. So let's get into the big news here. I was shocked by this. We have even more crossover for DC K.O. We have every freaking character you could think of here. We got Homelander, Sub-Zero, the bear from Beneath the Trees, Sam, Red Sonja, Vampirella, fucking Abigail from The Conjuring.
Awesome.
I love it.
Awesome, yeah.
I'm so excited. It's just, this is why I love comics. Like that's the whole point.
That's
so you can
what it's about right there.
Yeah, it's all these years of storytelling where you can have these crazy mashups, and how do you keep reinventing yourself? And this is just a really cool event, and I'm glad there's been no whole bars. Like they just keep surprising you.
Yeah,
like Samantha the bear from that. Oh my God. I heard that. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I'm like I can see like Red Sonja, right? And then like Sub-Zero even, because they're warriors, right? And it's just like, but then you get those off the wall characters, right? And I was just like, oh my God, that's great. Absolutely love that.
Yeah, that's the image there. That must have been crazy at the panel.
Oh man.
I saw a clip of, because they're doing like a DC AEW thing, and like them like pretending to do a fight. I'm like, oh man, I kind of wish I was there, because that would have been.
That would have been so cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Like that's what I'm saying. And making panels exciting, because that, like, obviously your fans are going this and they're sitting for an hour, they're waiting online, make it exciting. And it seems like they just really made it. Like DC completely won New York Comic Con.
That's what you
announced big stuff.
That's the way comics should be. They should be fun. It's just like, I know as us as like reviewers of them and we analyze them, but like they should be fun to read. That's why when you were a kid, you started reading them.
Sure.
You didn't analyze so much of the story. You read it because you like that action, right? And you like the cool powers and all that other stuff. And it's like, it's good to see that these guys are trying to have some fun here with this stuff.
Yeah, and it's funny because like also you sometimes don't even read in issue 1. You're reading stuff for like issue 5 or 55 back then, when you just kind of picked up on it. Yeah, it was funny because at New York Comic Con we had like some free books we were giving away because they were damaged, and we never know what to do with these damaged books. And I hate selling them for $1. I don't really need the $1. I'd rather just kind of give them away. And a lot of people came back, and some was like an issue 1. They both bought the whole series, but there's one person in particular bought an issue 3 of Beast and Snow. And then they're like, I read issue 3 and I kind of just want to see what happens and how we got here. So I'm going to read issue 1 and 2 and I'm going to get that. And I was just like, oh, that's what I love about comics, that you can jump into any issue and then like go back or go, forward. Mm-hmm. And that's, how comics should be. Before we jump into comics, I will talk about my little haul from New York Comic Con. So like I mentioned, I was there. I was in Artist Alley, kind of trapped behind my table for most of the time. But when I did get to walk around, I got some cool stuff. I did get Absolute Batman in trade, and I got it signed. And it was funny, I had my friend get it signed because obviously I was trapped behind the table and you have to wait there for like 2 hours, but you have to get a ticket early in the morning. And I didn't even think about it. I didn't get the ticket. So she walked back there and, maybe 2 hours before signing. And they're like, oh, actually someone gave their ticket back. So if you want it, you're really lucky you got this ticket. So she went and she waited online for me, and she got the signed, which was cool. And then I also got some other
good friend.
Yeah, no, she's a very good friend, so I appreciate that. She waited for 2 to 3 hours on that line.
I don't know many of my friends that would have done that.
I know, right? And she made friends on this line, and they're like, "Let me teach you about comic books," because she's like, I don't know why, like I don't know who Scott Snyder is. It's just like I know I'm getting this signed for my friend, but I did get the Absolute Batman a cover signed by Scott Snyder too, and this was like $60 for this cover because this was New York Comic Con exclusive. And then I got another one signed, and the signature was free if you bought it. Another interesting story. Cool. So I got the Jorge Jimenez exclusive signed. I was telling this to Mike. What was really funny was that I was going to the bathroom, and there's an exclusive bathroom for people in Artist Alley. So I was walking towards the bathroom, and I have to always pass Jorge's table. And I, a few times I was like, okay, like I can't get it. The line was cut, whatever. So I got this one book, and then he was just there, and the line was capped and everything. I just went up to him and was like, it's only one comic. Can you sign it? He's like, okay. And I got it signed. Didn't have to wait online for that. And then my friend Elliot got me Masterminds issue 1 signed because he said it's a really good book. So
yeah, I read both issues so far.
So I'm going to read that.
I haven't read that. That's good though. Yeah.
Then I got the Everything's Dead and Dying signed, but I got a different cover because
I got that cover too.
Then my friend went to a different friend went to the Spider-Man panel and was like, oh, I don't read comics. So I'll give you the comic they gave away. And then I got the Patrick Gleason, Mary Jane autograph too.
Cool. That's really awesome.
And it's signed
really nice. Yeah.
But yeah, it was a great show. Like we made a lot of money. We made a lot of fans. It's just cool to see the people that you like really admire also become your like colleagues. And I think that's really fun. Yeah. Let's go into some Kickstarters I have, and then we're going to go into comics. But first we have, let me share my screen. Let's do entire window, I guess. And then we have the comic shop. And speaking of wonderful creators, we have Cheyenne, who made the comic shop TV shows like Abbott Elementary about a Black-owned comic book shop. And we have Joe Willage, who's on board. We have Cody Ziegler, Stephanie Williams. It's really, really cool lineup. So hopefully you guys could go check it out. We're very close to funding. We need to get there to actually make this book. So hopefully you guys could check that one out. I'll put that in the description. So you're going to see StreamYard for a second, guys. So this is what it looks like on our side. And then now we're going to do The Witching Season, which was just released today. And what's really cool, if you guys are cover collectors, we have some crazy covers here. We got Skylar Patridge, who does Action Comics. That's our standard cover. Great cover. And then we have Jess Fong, who does a lot of those Poison Ivy covers that you guys like.
Nice I've gotten a couple of hers,
So beautiful, the artwork. So that's our hardcover. And then, guys, get ready because this is kind of crazy. We got Sweeney Boo, who did the exclusive hardcover. So if you are a collector of any of these creators, I really recommend the book. Also, there's like great creators. Heather Antos is part of this, who's the editor at IDW. Alex Agora, who used to be the president of Archie Comics. We have David Booher, who did Specs that we really liked. Dan Parent that worked on Archie. Stephanie Williams. The list goes on and on. There's some really great creators in here. We're super stoked about it. So I hope you guys could go check it out. Sure. Yeah,
those are all beautiful covers.
Too. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, no, it's really cool.
That first one was amazing.
Yeah, right? I love that one. That's my favorite.
Skylar does not let down. Like every cover she does is so good. So I'm really happy that we've had so many Skylar covers because that's like a gorgeous cover. And if you guys like witches and you like Halloween, like go check it out. And it's 150 pages. We've been working on it for a very long time, and we feel like we've made a really good product. But yeah, we also have so many comics to talk about. So let's get into the weekly pool here.
Yes, here we go, guys. Time for comics. It was a great comic book week. I'm not going to lie. I had a tough time figuring out what was my number one comic book this week because I had so many great books. They all could have been number one at any other week, probably. So we're going to kick things off here probably with I felt was a book that was pretty decent, but it wasn't nearly as close as these next two. Which was The Amazing Spider-Man Torn issue 1. This book was pretty solid. I like it because it takes place in a time period where Peter Parker is a much simpler person. You know, he just became Spider-Man, and you get the cast of characters in that comic book before they were all the villains or heroes or that they are today, right? And I really liked it. And it had to deal with this woman that was trying to steal this book. She was paid a lot of money to steal it. This book is somewhat cursed, and it changes her into a demon. And now Spider-Man has to deal with that aftermath. So it was a good book. I liked it. I thought in very many ways it was probably better than the Amazing Spider-Man book ongoing right now.
I like the art and I like the ending. I did like the villain. And I'll say, if you are looking to dwindle your pool, though, like obviously it is just kind of a lost episodes series, but I thought, yeah, it was solid enough. It was kind of like middle of my pile, but if you're looking for fun Spider-Man, I'll probably get issue 2. Like, it was fun enough.
Yeah, like I said, I like the cast of characters. So, like, again, Mary Jane's in it, Gwen Stacy's in it, and it's just like and tackle those relationship aspects. And I don't know, just seeing him interact with those characters, I like that more than I did the whole villain piece of it. Because again, we haven't seen Peter interact with those characters that way in quite some time. You know, like I said, now they're all villains or heroes. So you like, that's what you get. That's why Peter doesn't have a supporting cast really anymore, because it's just like they've all become their own thing now.
Yeah. I did not get this just because it's JMS, and that's the one time I dropped Spider-Man was when he was fighting it. So I was afraid to try it.
It wasn't bad though, because I was kind of sketchy about it myself, but his writing wasn't like overwhelming on it or anything like that. And it didn't have Moreland in it or anything.
Yeah, just to be clear with everyone out there, it's I have no hate for JMS. I just didn't like his Spider-Man run. That's it.
Right. All right, and then we're gonna go to Brant and I. We read this, and this is Transformers issue 25. Oh, man. So this is the first issue where we got Robert Kirkman in here, and you get Dan Mora in here, but Jorge Corona still did a little bit of the artwork in this issue, which is kind of cool. Also have transition pages like you're watching the show, and you know how you had the emblem flip over. Yeah, they got that in the actual comic, which was kind of cool. I like that. And then here we find out that when it comes to our Transformers here, the Autobots have been discovered by the Army like long time ago. They've been kept secret, and they've been doing like dissection on them basically since, I don't know, forever, you know. And I think it was like
the 30s or something.
It was forever. And it was like Mirage and was it Bulkhead? I think it was the two.
Was it Bulkhead? I know it was Mirage. I think you might be right. It might have been Bulkhead.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. And then you get more Easter eggs in here, and this is a spoiler, but if you guys are familiar with Mask, the TV show, right, was around the same time as Transformers and G.I. Joe. Miles Mayhem makes his appearance here. He's the leader of Venom. He's the dude that flies a jet that turns into a helicopter or vice versa.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And you don't know he's bad yet, though.
Right. He's the Cobra Commander of Mask for anybody out there. Yeah, he's the bad guy. Oh, that was so cool. Mike messaged me like a few days ago. He's like, "Oh my God, did you read Transformers yet?" And I hadn't read it, so I went and immediately read it, and I was like, "Oh my God, yes!"
It's so cool because now I can see a spin-off book. Yeah, them creating a Mask book. The Energon is going to create their vehicles. They're going to transform because they've done these studies on the Autobots. Yeah. Just a lot of stuff in here. And then, you know, don't forget the beginning of the book with Megatron on how he's like trying to pump up the Decepticons to come back and stuff like that. So, yeah, really cool stuff. Now, you guys that are young, not old like Brant and I'm sure you'll get the discovery of what Mask is, because we got a couple of other characters in it earlier in the series as well.
They had a lot of comics, right? Because I remember back in the day when I would get like random issues like from the dollar bin. Like I had so many Mask comics, not knowing what it was, but I think they had a lot of dollar bin
Marvel
comics.
Used to make them.
Yeah, when they made the Transformers and G.I. Joe, they had that too. And then IDW, when they had the franchise, they tried a couple of miniseries, I think, with Mask.
Didn't really work, yeah.
Yeah, they weren't really great.
Yeah.
But, yeah, this was just so exciting because the way that they're tying all these franchises together and making it make sense, like Destro over in G.I. Joe using Energon to, to fuel his vehicles and everything, you can see because the Mask vehicles transform, you can see them using the same technology. So it just all feels like it fits in this world they're building. So it's just, it makes it even more exciting.
It's going to be cool when it pops up. People are going to think, wow, this is a new thing. And then it's going to not be a new thing.
Right.
It's gonna be cool. All right, let's move on to the big boy of the week. This is DC K.O. This is issue 1. Listen, man, I really like this at the end of it, and it's so funny because we got this bracket and everything else, and I was talking with Kat, and I think the bracket is obviously something. Yes, they're in this tournament and they are fighting,
but it's not
I
going to
think
be that.
I think the
big
bracket
apart.
is just for fun. You do it online, and it's just like this. The first round has already been outcome, so they already have the results on there. And Batman is still in the bracket.
Yeah, and that part
didn't
saying? Make sense.
And then in the comic, Batman is not in the bracket. He didn't
Right.
even make it to the tournament,
And they show the bracket too. They do like the
exactly. But online it's different. So it's kind of weird. And
also
online I got 3 wrong. I got Supergirl wrong because I thought she was going to win her first round. She loses.
Okay.
Right? And then who was the other one? What did I say?
You said Firestorm. You said Firestorm.
Firestorm freaking lost.
I thought he was going to advance too. Yeah.
Right. And then there was one other that I couldn't remember.
I don't remember which one for that.
We also already saw those like images where like Wonder Woman's fighting Lobo and stuff like that. So yeah, it feels like it's not like you said. The bracket is not
it's just for fun. It's like for fun.
Yeah. Exactly.
So,
which I'm fine with.
And that's okay.
Yeah, and I'll say this is an interesting issue because obviously if you were following this event as closely as we have, it is a little bit of a recap issue. It's like, oh, if you haven't been reading Superman, like this is what we're doing. But the end of the issue is like, oh, okay, like seriously, that's gonna be interesting. So it's a little harder to rate because like it does everything right, but also like if you've been following everything, it takes a little while to kind of get there.
Yeah,
exactly.
Like the only like new information before the end of it, the only new information was basically how they are going to be able to defeat Darkseid, but everything else, So yeah, it's a little hard, but like you said, they did everything right for anybody coming into this cold. It was perfect,
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't see that happening to Batman.
No.
I mean, there was so much chaos going on. I'm like, what the heck's happening right now? And I'm just like, and then I'm thinking, I'm like, because I'm thinking of the bracket too, and I'm like, is Superman not going to make it in this gate?
Right.
Yeah. I'm like, and then
that's what I was thinking too. Yeah.
And then you see Batman. I'm like, we're all thinking that Batman is going to be in this thing because what does he do? He sells comic books, right?
Yeah. Of course.
And then,
now Joker being the one that does that helps sell the comic a little bit more too. And obviously Joker was even in the bracket. So
but then Batman's coming out with his spin-off book. We didn't talk about that. He's coming out with Night Fight.
Oh, I didn't see about this.
Yeah. So the description there is somehow he is going to still try to make his way into the heart of Apocalypse.
Okay.
And then he's fighting Batmans from the future or something like that.
May tie into Kyle Higgins stuff.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, the Immortal.
It looks good.
I love how much it's tying into stuff. It's really cool.
Then of course the twist, the Booster Gold thing that we didn't see coming either.
Yeah, that he's working with them.
Yeah,
he's working where he is.
He is Darkseid, basically.
He is Darkseid, I think.
That's crazy.
I thought that was cool. I don't remember if it was this book or like one of the prelude books, but they also pretty much foreshadow that the trilogies, the 3 are not going to. The Trinity is not going to be.
Yeah.
Was it this one? Yeah, they pretty much say like the 3 of them are not going to be the ones that win.
Yeah.
So I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, that's very interesting. Yeah, I think it was part of that narration for Booster. Towards the end, that he said that.
But yeah, there's a lot to dissect, a lot of cool stuff, a lot of spin-offs I'm actually excited for because obviously when you have all these tie-ins, you're like, oh, whatever, it's too much. But this event feels like
I don't think necessary. There's a lot of tie-ins though. I think there are tie-ins, but I don't think there's an overwhelming amount of them.
I'll say not yet because we know December has a lot of December has a lot of those like battles, which is fine. Right. I'm excited for those though, and obviously we're talking about the Nightfall book, so like there's going to be a lot of tie-ins, but it doesn't feel like a lot for some reason.
Yeah, not yet, like you said.
No,
we'll see.
All right. So with that being said, let's move on to number 5. And Brant, what's your number 5 this week?
Oh, of course you go to me first. It's so hard because, like you said, I didn't I loved all my books this week. It's crazy. I never have a week that's just, this was really hard to rank them. I was ranking them as we were doing the show live. So it's a little iffy, but I guess I'm gonna go with the Sabretooth book. Just because I love one seeing Gabby, but I love that they're on opposite sides, and you got the betrayal thing of Hellion and all this stuff. You've got dissension between Revelation and Laura. You've got the tension between the family members, and just all those elements together just felt fun. It felt like, I don't know. I just loved seeing it. I love those characters together.
Glad you liked it. I will not be buying the second issue.
Okay, that's fine.
I'll say I'm in the middle for you guys finally, usually.
So you're in my spot, yeah.
I'm in your spot because I didn't hate it, but I also didn't love it because I liked it in the regard of I liked the writing. Like I enjoyed like what you were saying, those moments, but then there's this voice in the back of my head where I'm like, none of this matters. Why is this happening?
That's
I don't
true.
really care.
Yeah.
And that's really hard. And I'll say this is my favorite out of the Age of Revelation books, but for me, that doesn't mean much because I really didn't like any of the Age of Revelation books.
This was my favorite out of them too. So that's why it was between this and Long Shots, which is stupid, but I just had fun with it. I thought it was hilarious.
Long Shots was my one that I think I'm continuing.
Okay.
But it also took a long time to get to the point of that book. Like they don't even see the team in this issue.
But at least it got to the point at the end where you're like, okay, well now you have the roster, you have the mission at hand of what they have to do. Now you got to get the interactions, and then like Long Shot is going to be in the book eventually, so that's what
I thought in the end it was pretty much a joke that he wasn't going to be in it. There's why do they have
he's like
in the next
wait
issue?
A second, he's like how come I want to be the star of the show now?
I thought that was a joke though. I felt like it was more like
I guess
that was at least my reading. But also isn't there only one issue left of this book? Like I don't think this is a long event.
I thought there were like 3 or 4 issues.
Let me see. Long Shots. I hope there is. There wasn't much for.
I hope there's at least 3.
I'm gonna tell you. I'm going on League Comics. They have. Yeah, they have 3 issues, so they need 2 issues to kind of get to the point here.
It seems like a really in-depth plot, though. They literally got to destroy this thing, and that's pretty much it.
Well, you have to build the chemistry, though. There's like not much from the team yet, so you have to like see like how do they all interact, and they didn't really do that in this issue. But the art was good. I thought the art was probably that's another thing about these X-Men books. There wasn't anything that was phenomenal with the art, especially Sabretooth. If I'm being honest, the facial expressions were weird for that book. They were so strange.
I didn't mind it. I mean, it wasn't like my favorite art or anything like that. But yeah, no, I agree with you in general about the art styles, though. I thought the Long Shots one was the most fun art style, but yeah.
I just didn't know what I was expecting from any of these books, and I thought something different from the Sabretooth one, and I just didn't get, I guess, what I was expecting, even though I don't even know really what I was expecting. I just felt like it was a lot of like talking.
It was a lot of talking.
And an unnecessary fighting. Like it just didn't seem the fighting was necessary. It's like, let's fight, and then we stop. And then it's like, oh, here, take my kid. And it's like, okay.
It's family, and they've got issues. That's I don't know. That's what I got out of it, and I just like the intrigue behind all of it. So, but I totally get it. Yeah,
I agree with the kid thing with Brett. Like, I think that was more of like, oh, they wanted to see their family. Yeah, I thought that was actually one of the better moments of the issue. But we'll see as this event goes. There's a lot of books coming out of it, and I think I'm gonna be dwindling my pile a little bit with them.
I'll definitely be dwindling. The thing about it is I had very low expectations for all this, so I actually enjoyed it because it was better than I expected it to be. It's still not like okay, it's not great, but it's better than I thought it'd be. So.
Right. Yeah. All right. Well, let's move on. Kat, what's your number 5?
Mine was DC K.O. For all the reasons I said. It's A, there's a lot of books that are out, and B, like it is more of a prelude, but I did like it a lot to make it to my top 5 because there's some good moments in it.
Mine was Nemesis Forever issue 2. All I can say is the second issue was absolutely insane, and I can't really sit there and go into too much detail because both of you guys don't read it. But the only thing I can say is what this guy does is just absolutely insane. I mean, it's unimaginable. the way on the way he wants to kind of destroy the world or take over the world. And there was this reporter that was kind of onto him because he obviously has an alias, like Bruce Wayne. He's like an evil Batman, like I've said, right? And basically it's just like there's this reporter and she's like, how come I can't find like who you really are, or where'd you get all your money and your takeover of all your businesses? And he's like, you know what? Let's talk exclusively. How about you get an exclusive interview from me? Let's go to this location. So she takes him on this sailboat, or not this sailboat, a cruise ship. And his plan is to blow up this whole city with this cruise ship because it goes into shore, it blows up, and she's on it. It's just hilarious, man. It's a really good book. If you read the series, you would understand more, but very interesting. Mark Miller writes it, and this will be the last volume of it. So very, very.
It's been going on for a very long time. So
yeah, for years. Yeah, absolutely. All right, so let's move on, and let's go on and talk about Return to Planet Hulk. Didn't need this book.
No, it
Didn't
was such a cash grab.
Yeah.
Cash.
When I first read it, I didn't realize it was a one shot. And I was kind of like, why are we going back to Planet Hulk? I'm like, isn't She-Hulk there right now? So I was confused. And then I realized it was a story about him in the past.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh.
That's why I didn't get it. Yeah.
You didn't miss anything, Brent. Yeah. It was just like a fighting issue, pretty much. There was nothing really there.
Okay, character moment. I think Hulk is kind of deciding like what he is there at that point in time. Like, what does he mean to these people? And then he's just really battling all these other things, and then it's over in like 5 minutes.
Yeah, and again, it goes back to why did you need this? Unless it's like building towards something, it's just like it just felt like, well, let's talk about Planet Hulk to make some money.
Yeah,
like it's really felt that way.
Yeah. Being a one shot, it's like really.
No,
I
didn't know it was a one shot either.
Yeah, I could understand if it was a miniseries because they do those all the time. But
like if you wanted that integrated into your story, you should have done it when the original story came out, right? So, all right. So there's that one. So now let's talk about Everything Dead and Dying. This is issue 2.
Gotta read it, Brent.
I know.
It's so good. This issue was phenomenal. I'll try not to spoil it too much, but it kind of flips the script a little bit. In issue 1, you think he like actually has a very good relationship with his husband and his daughter, and you find out he doesn't, and he kind of was a jerk. And it was a really great interpersonal issue. I as you kind of build the tension between this like kind of Rick Grimes type group who wants to kill him. So I thought it was a really emotional issue. I liked it a lot. It
definitely continues the flashbacks, and it makes you feel really bad about this guy. Yeah, because he tries to turn his life around in this afterlife, and he's so settled in his ways because they've been this way for like 12 years. And now everything is getting disrupted. And that's what makes you feel so bad for the guy.
Yeah.
So it was a really good book. I really enjoyed it.
I will definitely read it. I just ran out of time this week.
No, understandable. Especially because you had to catch up with it too. But by issue 3, catch up.
Yeah.
All right. And then we got here it is, Absolute Batman issue 13. So we get Cat, we get Catwoman in here, and then you actually get Harley Quinn. I didn't see that coming.
I didn't see that coming either.
Yeah, so I've been seeing other people talk about it, and a lot of people are like, well, I don't like Harley Quinn the way she is, and I don't like this, and I'm like, it's a different universe. It's not supposed to be the same Harley, and
you don't want it to be. Why read this if it's the same one?
Right. It's cool. It's like she's the supposed leader of the Red Hood gang here. And again, every time you get something like, we were wondering about Catwoman, right? And so now we get the reveal of her and a little bit more of her. You get another reveal of another character. So now you get Harley. So it keeps the ball rolling here, and it keeps the curiosity going, But I like this issue overall. I love their relationship. It was a pretty hot and heavy book in the beginning of it.
Oh yeah.
For a
You
DC
know?
comic that's not Black Label, like they went to whatever they could to make that a cool scene. I think
Yeah.
this is an interesting series because I keep saying that obviously I don't want to wait for a trade because I like reading it weekly, but it is like you're saying, it kind of is building blocks. So it I won't say it feels slow, but it's just like the pacing is more like here we're kind of building to this big moment, and I feel like in a trade you probably get a lot more out of that. I like this. It's my number 6 out of, I really enjoyed it, but
Yeah.
I think as a trade, it's probably like a perfect read. As a single issues, you're like, oh, I kind of wanted a little bit more.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
But I think as a single issue, when it does that, I'm like, it makes you want to buy that next issue.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, because you want to
It's
see
doing
what
its
Harley's
job.
up to. You want to
Right.
see, you want to see what Cat. And again, you have this now miniseries coming out for sure. Like
Yeah.
it's building a very interesting world that I'm invested in.
Yeah, same. And like you, Mike, I didn't see that coming at all. And I like it that it's a different version of Harley. I mean, if you look at this book, it's like Killer Croc's an actual alligator. Batman is Bane Light. I mean, these aren't the same characters, but
Right.
in many ways they are, but they're very different. But I like the way it's building too. This is outside of my top 5 as well, but I did really enjoy it.
Awesome. Yeah, great book. Can't wait for the next issue.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so let's see what happens here. We're at number 4. So I'll start with Kat this time. What's your number 4?
I think mine is surprising because I was kind of surprised by it, and that's Court, the new Tom Taylor series from DC. I don't like this genre usually. Like this is like my least favorite genre. I don't like medieval stuff, but I think this book does a really good job at grounding it. I liked how he's modernizing it. I like how he's building the cast with the grandma being like part of this weird sword place. And yeah, it's just building the cast really well. And the art obviously is really fun. And I think it's a really good all ages book. And I just was really pleasantly surprised by it. That's why it's so high up. Because when I was thinking about it, I'm like, wow, a lot happened in this issue. You learn a lot in this issue too,
Yeah, I thought this issue was a lot better than the first issue. Yeah, I really enjoyed this book as well, and it just the grandmother is, I think, what really sold it for me because it's like, oh, there's a bit more mystery here to this, and this a little bit goes back a little further than we realize, and that was just really cool. So, yeah, really.
Yeah, I would agree with you there, Brant. I thought the second issue was better. I love how the grandmother was involved. I like the end of it too. They're like, "Hey, my stick is glowing. Something's happening here," it's going to be an interesting book here.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say too much more because you guys have kind of said it all, but I'm looking forward to the third issue. And this kind of just solidified me continuing on with the series.
Mm-hmm. Same.
It's also a really easy palate cleanser, right? Because you do have like the Absolute Batmans and DC K.O.s, and you're like, those are a little bit heavier books. And then you read something like this, and it's bright and shiny, and it's just like a really fun read.
Yeah, it's a perfect in between. Yeah.
No.
Sure.
All right. So who are we at? Brant.
Yeah. Mine is The Guy in the Chair. Did either one of you read this?
I didn't read that one. I saw it, but I didn't pick it up.
This is from the woman that wrote Rogues Gallery. So.
Oh yeah. Yes.
Hannah. I can't remember.
Is it IDW?
It's actually Dark Horse, I think.
Dark Horse guy. I know she's done mostly IDW.
Yeah, but because she was writing it, I was like, oh, I gotta check this out. So the basic concept is they have like these operatives that go in the field, and then they have their guy in the chair that kind of is their eyes and ears and everything. They can't interact and all this stuff, but he's like in love with his operative. They've been working together for forever, and she supposedly something happens to her on a mission, and he's like devastated. But then like the cliffhanger, spoiler alert, is she shows up at his house and is like, the people that hired us to do all this are after me. So it was
that sounds really cool.
Yeah, it was a big setup issue. There was a lot of talking and dialogue and the operatives kind of talking to each other and all that kind of stuff. But where it led to was really exciting. It's like, oh, issue 2, I can't wait to see what's happening. The action's going to pick up and everything. So it was a really fun book.
Very cool. All right, and then my number
4.
My number 4 was Everything Dead and Dying. So it's just, God, in any week that would be a number 1 book easily. So hard, man. All right, so let's move on now, guys. I'm gonna talk about uh well, we kind of talked about it a little bit. Let's go to Amazing X-Men issue 1. So this is kind of like the book that kind of kicks everything off, I would say, of what's going on, how the X-Men are 10 years into the future. Cyclops is conscious is in this body in the future as well. And then they got to go to this, what was it, this teleportation device or something like
Yeah.
that to get to Philadelphia. And
Right.
then they come across the adversary here, which is, again, one of them is Wolverine. And that's how we got that situation that we talked about earlier. And then
Yeah.
they get to where they need to get to, right? And then they wind up teleporting somewhere else.
Yeah, they end up teleporting into another territory that is ruled by magic, right?
Right.
What God, why is her name slipping my head? What's Magic's real name?
Ileana.
Ileana.
Yeah, Ileana. I couldn't think of her name, but yeah, it's Ileana's realm. So you get to see Cyclops and her come face to face, and obviously she's on the dark side now. So she's become the God. What does she call herself when the Hell Child? Is that what it is when she's the
Yeah.
ruler
Something
of
like
Limbo?
that, yeah.
Yeah, or Dark Child. Dark Child, I think is what it is. But yeah. Anyway, that's it. Yeah.
So it was all right. I mean, it was
Yeah.
fine for what it is. I mean, it was entertaining. I liked it a little bit better. I think the one thing that I did like in it was the way Cyclops was written.
Yeah.
Because they're like, "Oh, who put you in charge?" And he's like, "Well, this is the reason why you brought me here." And he was taking command of the situation that was at hand. And I was like,
Yep.
"Oh, that's pretty well written right there." So
Yeah. The other thing I liked about it was the urgency of them running from Wolverine. So
mhm.
Wolverine was on the hunt, and it was just like dire. It felt like it was edge of the seat. They had to get to
Yeah.
this place, and it was just it was fast paced, and it felt right. It felt like it was paced just right for that scene. So yeah, I enjoyed that part of
We'll see how it continues going forward. All right, and then we have uh Superman the Kryptonite Spectrum issue 3. So this is the one where you have Superboy because he's affected by the kryptonite, and he has a play date with Billy in this
It's funny
one.
because I didn't remember that from the last issue that was it, and I was like, "Who is this guy?" For like a good 2 pages until you kind of get adjusted. And you're like, "Oh yeah." I'll say if you like issue 1, you'll continue to like this series, but if you don't like issue 1, you're not gonna like this series. Is like it's kind of like a Twilight Zone type
Yeah.
serialization. It's like
Yeah.
every issue is a different kryptonite, which I've been having a good time with. But
I like this issue. I just and it was cool seeing these two interact as kids. However, I like the previous issues better.
Me too,
Just
yeah.
because I liked the wide range of what the kryptonite can do. And I just felt like how this kryptonite just de-aged him a little bit. I was kind of like, that's not really that cool.
The teaser for the next issue, though, I thought was really cool. That he's like stuck in his imagination.
Yeah,
I
but you
thought
know
that
who
was
it's going to
interesting.
be, though?
Who?
I'm telling you, I think it's going to be Mitzelplick.
Oh, I mean, for sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure he'll be related.
Yeah.
I don't hate him, but I also don't love him. So we'll see
Right.
what happens. But I think at least it'll be a kooky issue.
Yeah. All right. And then we'll go to Deluge, which I'm surprised all three of us actually read that, right?
I've been reading a lot of the Ignition stuff, and I
Me
like Cullen
too.
Bunn. So I like that it's a Kickstarter, company that is going to the direct market. I think that's interesting.
And I like this book. I thought
solid.
it was good. I mean, it's not a super in-depth story. What's up with my shut off? Jeez. It's not like a super in-depth story, but it was fine. I mean, it's just like, oh, hey, these women in a correctional institute, you get these crazy rains that happen. It doesn't stop. It starts flooding the prison. There's some evil that's going on in the prison, some creatures, and they start eating people. And now all hell breaks loose. And you're kind of like, okay.
I like the flashback to the one character that killed her boyfriend or husband or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
My throat's hurting really bad. I was just like, okay. And then she's also the character that's standing there with her when the creature comes. And then that preview image for the next issue leads me to believe that, oh, maybe there's something a little bit more here. A little bit. I don't know, a little bit more sci-fi. So we'll see. I liked it though.
It's very interesting. Yeah.
And they introduced the characters well enough. I think this was a good issue. Be like, okay, it's a good issue to want to get you to issue 2. Like, I won't say it's like, oh my God, issue 1 is amazing. But yeah, it was like, okay, I want to see where it goes.
Terrible first day for that nurse, though. I'll tell you.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh my gosh, yeah, absolutely. Jeez.
That was not a good first day.
This was my first Ignition Press book that I read because I wanted to try Murder Podcast, but I missed it. So yeah, this
good.
Was my first one, but.
I'll say I like Murder Podcast a bit more than Deluge, but I still like Deluge,
so I'll probably like Murder Podcast too.
Murder Podcast is a little bit more in depth story. I feel.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so let's move on to number 3. What you got, Brant? Going back to you.
Mine is Court, Children of the Round Table.
All right, what do you got, Kat?
Mine is Strange Tales issue 1, and I'll say again, it if you like these characters, you're gonna really like it. It's a fun adventure where Carolina goes missing, Wicking goes missing, Hulking goes missing, and Scarlet Witch and Nico have to team up to find them. It is a very simple story, but it was a cool slice of life book, and it works for these characters. And if you like these characters, you're gonna really enjoy what's here. It's funny because it also feels like a webtoon. Like it doesn't really feel like a Marvel comic.
Yeah. Sorry, I thought you were done. So
no. That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, it's also fun because it kind of leans into the Stranger Things thing a little bit because they're playing a D&D type game when this happens. And then it also has like a Jumanji element to it because the game basically comes to life and pulls them into it. So it was just a fun time. It's one of the, I didn't realize, but it's like one of those like crossover things that they do every once in a while. So the next one has like Spider-Gwen and some other characters.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Cool. So yeah, it was fun. It was a lot of fun.
Very cool. All right. And that was
Cat.
So you have your number 3 now.
Yeah.
Okay. So mine.
Mm-hmm.
DC K.O. So we definitely talked about that. All right. And now we go on to World of Revelation. Which one was this? God. This was the anthology.
It's the anthology. I hated this book.
Yeah.
It was not for me.
That's why I didn't pick it up because I knew it was an anthology book.
It wasn't even just that it was an anthology. You can go ahead, Cap.
No, I think we're going to say the same thing. Okay. So go for it.
The lead story was mostly prose with just like some art splashed in there. I mean, there were panels, but there was no dialogue and everything. It was all narrated in prose in a sidebar. And it was all this character traversing through this world, fighting different things to get to the point.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah. I know exactly.
It was the longest story in the issue. It was
exactly.
And none of the stories, like, it's hard. It's hard for me not to like one of the stories, and none of the stories.
None of the stories were really. I don't even remember what the other two were.
I think one was Franklin related.
Oh yeah, that one I hated. I hated.
Didn't like that. I didn't like any of them. I was really disappointed with that.
The Franklin story was. I thought it was going to be like about the Fantastic Four because it promised that on the cover and everything. It basically led with all the Fantastic Four are dead except for Franklin, and he's turned into a monster, and this is how he lived his life. That was the story. It was, but anyway, the first story was basically Professor X. And the very end of it was like one page where he's face to face with Apocalypse, and they're like, "We got to stop this." That was it.
That's why I didn't pick it up, man. I knew it was going to be that way. I'm already like very like not happy about Age of Revelation to begin with. The last thing I want to see is like get an anthology on it. I'm like, please.
That was the only book this week that I did not like. So,
gotcha. All right. So let's talk about Green Lantern Corps issue 9. So this was the last part of this whole, I guess you want to say, rebuilding of the emotional spectrum. Like everything's back online, and you got John Stewart who sacrificed himself, but unfortunately, like you already know where he's at. Like,
I didn't like that ending.
Why can't you just leave him dead for a little bit?
I agree.
Or just not have him dead, but just leave him off for a couple issues.
Right.
It ruined the issue a little bit for me. I was just like, I didn't like that because a lot of this issue is building, saying like, "Oh man, we have to do this for John," and it all felt really rushed. And I was just like, I didn't love this issue. It was okay. I didn't.
I mean,
I
I liked
love the
everything
ending,
else. I liked everything else besides that. Like,
don't you
I
think
like
the John stuff was rushed though? Don't in the regard of them also saying we have to battle for him. Wouldn't you think that they would be like, wait, let's take a moment to like mourn him?
Yeah, no, that was a little bit rushed. Yeah, it was like, oh, I've got one issue to wrap this up. Let me squeeze all that in. Yeah, that's what it felt like a little bit. But other
someone in my comments for Comic Uno yelled at me because I don't like the art for this. Because they're like, "What do you mean it's the best art ever?" I'm like, I just don't like the pencils for it. Like, I think the coloring ties it in. I don't like the pencils for this book.
I'm glad you said something because I haven't had a problem that much up until this issue, but for some reason, this issue felt off to me. Like,
you know what it could have been? It could have been maybe because there's so much going on.
Yeah, there's so many characters.
In the book.
They had to do a bit of a rush job on it, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I think there was a good like 2-page spread in there with them. With some battling and some action.
The 2-page spread was good.
Much.
Yeah, the 2-page spread was really good. There was a couple of close-ups that were really good, but some of the like the torsos looked like weird and stiff and elongated, and just weird stuff was going on with this. And some of the facial expressions, eyes were lopsided and stuff.
100% agree. I'm really glad you mentioned that too, Brent, that you agree, because I was just like, am I the weird one here? I don't know.
What's going on?
Hey, I mean, like I said though, at least I was happy we got all the colors back, and you're getting characters back that the way that they were, and it's good that way. And then we're just gonna go from here. So all right. So let's move on to number 2. Brant.
My number 2 is DC K.O.
Gotcha. What do you got, Kat?
Mine was actually Supergirl. As a big Supergirl fan, I loved this issue because it was her stuck in her brain and her having to fight her as like a Red Lantern and like kind of fight this idea of being angry. And it's like, okay, like, do you go that route or do you try to be optimistic? And it's also like on the outside, her friends trying to help her out too. And I'm like, this is Supergirl. Like, this is Supergirl to me. And it's so interesting because obviously we get to the Supergirl movie, which is more based on that Tom King run of her kind of being angry and, this whole, Krypton exploding. I think this issue kind of got her a little bit better, at least for what I like about Supergirl. So I thought it was like a cool thesis statement about who Supergirl is as a character.
I like this issue. I liked it a lot better in the last issue. What I liked about this issue, though, man, that opening, that artwork, how it went back from reality to the normal art. I was just like, man, I really like this art for Supergirl. I know it's not the norm, or it's going to be the norm, but if there was a series that had Supergirl in it with that artist, I would be on board all day. I was like, wow, that looks really, really good. But totally get why they did the art that way. They made it a little darker, a little grittier, where Supergirl is not normally that way. So they had to distinguish between the two. And I like this book. I liked it just as much as I did before the last issue. I didn't like the last issue with all the pets and everything. Like,
no, me either. But it was just a filler
too
issue.
cutesy. I mean, it was like, yeah, it's just no. But this one was better. So I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to continue with it. All right. And I guess my number 2. This is so hard for me, man. It was Transformers issue 25. Yeah. And there is no real, it's just for the pure reason of this show. I mean, obviously these 3 comics that we're talking about in the top 3 were like, to me, they were all number 1. It was so good. All right, so let's move on. We're gonna talk about.
I think we talked about number 1.
Yeah, we're gonna go right to number 1.
We already talked about the other 2.
So, what was your number 1, Brent?
Transformers.
Yeah, I figure that. Yeah, and mine was absolute Batman.
That's what I figured.
So, like that's like I said, like. Those 3 for me were like all number 1 in my eyes. They were all great books.
Yeah.
And what about
Like I
you,
said,
Cal?
I liked all my books, but yeah, go ahead.
Mine was Everything Dead and Dying. Like
Okay.
I'm loving that series. I really
Nice.
liked it a lot. And yeah, this was a great week. This is what I love about comics when you can have weeks like this. I hate when there's comics and I have like my highest is like 3.5 stars. I'm like,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
the worst type of week where you're just like, I don't know. Especially when you're on the show because you obviously want to gloat about like how awesome your comics are. It's like this is top 5 by default. I hate those weeks, but this week wasn't
Right.
that. So
Right. So I'm
yeah, I
curious.
hope next week won't be, but I
Yeah.
will say there's not as many next week.
Right.
I feel like this week is kind of gonna be somewhat of a like a
Mixed bag.
mid-week. Yeah.
I agree with you. It was harder to pick the top 3 anticipated.
Yeah, it was.
Because everything came out this week, so because of New York Comic Con, they
Right.
wanted everything to be out.
Yeah. So, Kat, I'm curious because you mentioned it earlier. Mary Sue, since we didn't talk, did you like
Yeah,
that? Okay.
I thought it was in the middle. I enjoyed it
Yeah.
enough where I would get the issue too, because I
Right.
think it's an interesting concept about this girl who's like very online, and then like her very online character shows up in the real world. And I like the interaction between her and this like bully friend, where it seems like they
Yeah.
were friends at a certain
Bennett,
point,
yeah.
and then like what happened there. So I think there's something interesting there, and I like Lisa Sturl's art a lot. I've
Yeah,
always
I
enjoyed
do.
her art.
Yeah.
So definitely gave me enough for an issue too, but I wanted to love it more because I thought this was gonna be like in my top 5, but it
Yeah.
ended up like kind of being in the middle.
Right. I knew you'd pick this up, but I felt kind of the same way. It's like I wanted to like it more than I did, but I did enjoy it enough to get the second issue. The part I didn't like, I appreciate it, but I didn't love like all the texting at the beginning because it was so much to take in if you tried to read it all.
I also think she's her own worst enemy. I think they kind of paint her as not like her being so massively online
Yeah.
as this like weird thing about her, which obviously you might maybe some people do. I don't know what people's feelings are, but I feel like that's the low hanging fruit. Like, isn't
Yeah.
there something else you could say about this
Sure.
character?
Of course, yeah, I agree. But I do think along that line, I do think that maybe some of her bullying might be in her head. Like
Yeah.
it seemed like Bennett didn't hate her as much as she thought she did. You know, that
That was my favorite scene because I liked
Yeah.
that. I was like, oh wait, she seems like they're kind of friendly with each other.
Right. She's just disconnected because
Mm.
she's so wrapped up in her online stuff. Yeah.
But it was good. I mean, I'll pick up issue 2 again. Great
Yeah.
week. I'm really excited to get more weeks like this. I just think this is where comics have been at its best in a long time, and it's because we have a healthy DC Comics.
Yeah, for sure. All right.
So I think we're going most anticipated.
Yep. We'll go to you, Brant.
Let's do it. Most anticipated. Like you said, Kat, a little bit harder to pick this week. Kind of a mixed bag here. I tried to go outside the box to throw something different in there, so we'll see. Yeah, we'll start with all right, well, I'll save that one. We'll start with Rogue Sun issue 30. I'd mentioned that in our chat to Mike, but I didn't know you had stopped reading Spawn, Mike. So yeah, talk about that, Kat. That's your number 3.
Again, it goes back to in another week. I don't know if this would be my most anticipated because I don't read Spawn, but I think it's a very interesting crossover because it's not what I would have expected. Rogue Sun's not like, oh, how about Spawn comes into this? Like, I want to see what that's like. And Ryan Parrott's really good at crossovers, so I'm curious how that's going to work out. So I just again anticipating it. I'm along for the ride for it.
Yeah, the fact that it's medieval Spawn leads me to believe that it's tied to that character that's that the sister has her because he's from medieval times too. So it's definitely an interesting, unexpected crossover. So I'm curious about it, for sure. Then we'll go to Punisher issue 2, which is Mike's number.
That was
2.
close for me. That was a close pick.
Yeah, I just want to see how this whole thing pans out, like how he's obviously being controlled and if he's going to get his memory back. And I want to see how violent this book continues to get. And I'm just looking forward to it. I think the first one was a pretty interesting issue.
Yeah, for sure. All right, then let's go to Iron and Frost, which is on Kat's list. And this is one I'm anticipating from the Age of Revelation. It's probably
I hope it surprises me.
Oh God, I hope it's good.
Because I need one. I need one that's good. And honestly, like all the hype you guys were talking about with Iron Man and Emma, I didn't quite read it as much as you guys did. I love Emma. I think she's a really fun character. I like the cover and like kind of the mystery of that. My biggest hope is just that it's just about Emma and obviously a little bit about Iron Man. But I think that's what's going to help these books. A lot of them have the teams, which obviously makes sense because of X-Men. But I just kind of want to see an Emma book for this.
I have a feeling it's going to be very Emma-centric, this one.
Yeah, I agree. It's not the same writer as, because Jerry Duggan, I think, was the one that wrote it.
Yeah.
Wrote the original one.
Right.
With them together. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens with it. But I am anticipating. I'm hoping that it's good.
Yeah. Then I put Terror Bites issue 1 on my list, and this is from Mad Cave. It's Mark Russell, and the reason I put it on here is because I've seen so much chatter about this book. I mentioned it on my first and stuff, and I had comments on TikTok about this, how excited people were about this book and all this stuff, and I'm like, it's barely on my radar, so I'm very curious about it now. I know it's like this commentary on internet usage and all this kind of stuff, your online persona and all this stuff.
Yeah.
Tech,
I don't remember if I'm getting this one or not. I can't remember.
And I'm going to add it to my list if it's getting chatter, just because I also don't think I added it, but I do like Mark Russell. So, and I love Mad Cave. So I'm going to add it. I'll give it a try.
And I think it's ongoing too, which is interesting.
Cool.
So yeah. And
give it a shot.
Yeah. So Mike's number 1 is Battle Beast issue 6. And this is a big fight issue, right? I think.
Yeah. Well, this is the conclusion to the first chapter of this story. So you're going to see this all-out brawl, obviously, and then you're going to see, maybe something bad happens to Battle Beast. I don't know, but I feel like this is one of those things where you finish your story and then you take 6 months off and then you come back with the next volume. I have a feeling that's what we're going to get here.
Yeah, for sure. And then I've got G.I. Joe issue 12. This is a standalone story featuring Night Force. So I'm curious about that.
I'm looking forward to that too.
Yeah. And before I go into the last one, did you guys read Sacrificers this week? It came back.
I did not.
I did not. My shop didn't have it.
Gotcha.
Because it's been gone for so long. They didn't put any on the shelf. So
yeah. I thought it was going to be the end, but apparently this is the beginning of a new arc or something.
Oh, wow.
It was the conclusion of the story, but it's starting something new or something. I don't know.
Oh, wow.
Are you going to continue it?
I don't know, because I haven't loved the past few issues, and this one didn't solidify it. It was the final battle between Pigeon and the Fire God or whatever.
Yeah.
Which, it ended like it probably should have. So, it does seem like a prime for a fresh start, but I don't know where it's going to go from here.
Interesting.
But, yeah, I'm on the fence about it. But yeah, the last book is on all of our lists, which is Titans issue 28. It's spinning out of DC K.O. It's a new arc, all this stuff. I don't know what to expect from it. I haven't read Titans in a while.
Me either. I thought I was shocked to see it on all our lists because I was like, oh, I'm going to give it a shot just because it's DC K.O.
It's about the Titans, who are the ones that are in charge of
while they're
making
fighting,
sure everyone is escaping Earth, evacuating Earth since it's transforming. So
I'm excited to see their perspective. That's right. And again, it shows the type of week where we're just getting a DC K.O. tie-in in our top 3. But I think it's cool. No, thanks for what we're not done just yet. We will be done. I'm curious by it, and it was the one that, again, it's the one that I genuinely don't know what to expect, which is kind of a fun feeling going into the issue, because I don't think anyone has been reading that title.
No, I dropped it a while ago.
Yeah,
so it's cool to pick it up, at least just for that, anyway.
Yeah.
But that is it.
That's it, and that is it. So we finish right at 12 a.m. That's it, man. It's officially a new comic book day. So hopefully you guys have a wonderful new comic book day. Hopefully you enjoyed today's episode of Comic Book Weekly. We'll be back next week for a new episode. Until then, check out all our channels. My channel, Comic Book Corner 2.0, Comic Uno, and Only a Good Comics. Make sure you subscribe to them all. Hit the notification bells. And guys, we will see you all next week. Thank you so much for watching. Good night, everyone.